It's not authorized by law. That is an abuse of the parole. The parole in federal law is very limited. Ashley has gone to court, and we've actually won victories on Biden's abuse of parole in the Northern District of Florida. So for him to do this whole program underneath the parole, it just doesn't work. So you're bringing somebody in like they brought in the guy from Haiti, military-age male. He's dumped, I think, in Massachusetts. I think he came in maybe in New York and then ends up in Massachusetts. And then he's now accused of sexually assaulting a 15-year-old. It's like, okay, what the law did not require you to bring that person in. You are abusing the law to do that. How is that benefiting the American people? This whole idea of anything we're talking about immigration, it should be what benefits Americans. And if it doesn't benefit Americans, then you should not be doing it. So I think what he's done is not consistent with the law. But I think his abuse of parole is something that he's done since 2021. That is not the reason that was there. He's effectively changing the law without congressional consent. But I'd also say this, as a Republican, I hear these Republicans in Washington, they rail against the border. They rail against the inflation. And yet next week, they're going to turn around and fund Biden's border policies. They are not going to fight to defund his programs. You could very easily defund his use of parole. You could very easily mandate construction of a border. There's things that they could do. They haven't even tried to do any of that. So they're going to fund, most likely, his policies going forward, and they're likely to spend money at a higher level than even this bad budget deal of last summer called for. What's caused the inflation? It's the borrowing, spending, and printing of money. So I would like to see some action to fight back against these policies. We're doing our part in Florida to fight back, but this is actual legislation. This is actual executive action by mobilizing the resources in southern Florida with the vessels. It's not just going out and pontificating or complaining about it. So you have the power of the purse. If you do not like what Biden is doing on immigration, which I do not, and I think most Americans do not, then choose not to fund what he's doing on immigration. Because you know what? That's why we sent you there. All right. Thanks, everybody.